How's everybody doing? This is Mr. and Mrs. Silver Fox Forex back with another training tip video. And today's video is going to be a reading lesson. I'm just going to put it for you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. And this lesson here is about how to become a NFP expert. Now, I'm not going to read through everything. I'll just have it up so you guys can read. But there's a part A, part B, and a part C. What do you do before the NFP release? What to do after the NFP release? And part C, one case study. Now, in case you guys don't know, NFP is non-farm payroll. That's when the news comes out and you get the news for non-farm payroll for unemployment and things like that. And a lot of traders become very successful because they know how to trade either before the news release with the stop loss in place. They know how to trade excuse me, after the news comes out with a stop loss release. And you have to kind of like sit there and pay attention. Now, I've traded non-farm payroll before. I've traded it before the news and after the news. Before the news, you have to be careful. Your stop loss has to be in place in case you get taken out or the news becomes very volatile and you mess up and it takes you out. The other thing is when you trade after the news, you kind of have to let the market settle down a little bit before you can see a clearer picture. And it might be 5, 10, 15, maybe even 30 minutes. Then that way you can take the trade effectively after the news has come out. And because it's just going to jerk a lot of people around, it's going to go ahead and take you out. So you have to be careful. So part A, what to do before the NFP release. Let's blow this up a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, so you guys will be able to read it and see. It's just telling you, what to do before. You guys can go ahead and read it. And it gives you case studies on incidents that happen or a case study on job reports and things like that. Non-farm payroll, what it is. And it's going to explain to you. You guys can go ahead and read it. I'm just going to leave it right here for a second. If you need to pause it, pause it. The reason why I'm not reading because I don't think you guys want to hear me try to read this thing out loud. Now, I can't read, I can read, but so you guys can go ahead and have a moment and just read through the material yourself. See, this gives you a good understanding of what it is because so many people that are being taught forex or trading stocks or whatever, you got these people teaching you and don't tell you what none of this stuff is. Oh, you need to trade it because they're going to make money in it. But what is it? What is it? Is it exactly that I'm trading on? Challenger job cuts. It tells you just read through the material. I do this for traders that are like me that want information. Now I can't give you everything that Nelson gave me for free because it's mine. Now it's mine to give, but at the same time, it will be doing him a disservice or a discredit because I can't explain it like he can. I understand it. I'm teaching my wife, I'm teaching my daughters. I've been trying to get in the process of teaching my son that this is a way to become wealthy and work for yourself and build generational wealth because this is something you can pass down from family to family. You cannot pass a job down from family to family. If you worked at Ford, Chrysler, or GM, or General Foods, or KFC, or anything like that, and you're at like the top of the chain, and it's time for you to step down, excuse me, you just can't call your son or your daughter or your nephew or your grandson and their granddaughter and say, hey, I'm giving you this spot. It doesn't work like that unless you're already working in a company just as hard and as long as you have. You can't just give that over. Be like, here you go, continue making the money. It doesn't work like that. But with this, having Nelson's system, his education, his training videos, his PDFs, and just digging deep into the craft and really honing in on a craft and getting to know this thing, you can teach your family how to be successful. There's a young lady I watch. I can't think of her name at this moment, but she trades stocks, but she tried forex for a week, and she grew $1,000 to like $7,000 within 1 week. Now, what's very interesting about it is not only that she's only 20 years old or 21 or something like that. Her brother is 16 years old. 16. And he trades the stocks like a beast. Do you hear me? She's going to make a video and put up of him trading, but he trades like a beast at 16. If something were to happen to her today, she doesn't have to worry about her brother not being able to survive or take care of himself. Just for the simple fact she taught him how to trade, and he is killing the stock market at 16. A lot of traders out here are starting at 19 and 16 and stuff like that because it's in their head now. Why go work now? I'm not saying that you should not have the experience of working for somebody. Everybody should have that experience of working for somebody because only then will you know, hey, I want to climb up the corporate ladder, or no, I want to open up something for myself and do something for myself. Only then, after you have the experience, will you know, hey, I got a job that pays $100,000 a year and I want to trade on the side. Cool. If that's what you want to do. If you want to make 200,000 a year work for somebody and still trade on the side, cool. It's up to you. That's your call. For me, once I figured out that I can trade and don't have to worry about no overhead, no going to no meetings, being at somebody's beck and call about when I could take a vacation or a sick day, or my child has a doctor's appointment and I got to fit it in on the schedule to take this day off. That's why I like trading. That's why I like the opportunity and the risk that comes along with it. It gives you a chance to be your own boss and to drive other vehicles. It gives you a chance to use this money to open businesses if you want to open up your own business and have employees. This can fund that. There's a gentleman I watch. Excuse me. His name is Yusuf Scott. So his trading channel is, I mean, his YouTube channel is So Darn Easy Forex. Now, he was in real estate before he got into Forex. But he's been doing Forex now for a number of years consecutively. I think 8 years now. Can you imagine how his real estate portfolio has grown? Because he didn't have to go to a bank to fund any of his projects. All his projects were funded by Forex. Yep. Now, I'm sure his credit is A1. I'm sure he's got amazing credit card limits and stuff like that, but he doesn't have to use that stuff unless he really wants to because why? He became his own bank. Nobody can deny him. Nobody can tell him that he can't take out a loan. Nobody can tell him that he can't take out this money for this project or he doesn't have enough credit or, all that stuff. He became his own bank. So I believe he owns 5 apartment buildings now, could be more. He's renovated each one of them, or in the process of still doing it, out of his own pocket. Go to his channel. He'll walk you through it and he'll show you the videos. Excuse me. How he used his Forex money to do that stuff. When you do that, you add value because you can still build your credit up and get these credit cards and credit limits and, use them very meagerly, to buy gas and stuff like that. Make sure your credit score stays good in case you do need to borrow money. But for the most part, he's his own bank. When you get, I'm saying between 3 and 5 million in a bank, you closing deals and stuff like that. You don't have to borrow from a bank to fund your projects. It's a no-brainer. So this is something that I think everybody should take a look at. It's getting so much popularity in Africa now that they're getting out of poverty by trading. Now some are still scamming and you're scamming all over the world, but they're using this tool. And it's really only like 2% out of 100% of the world is really only doing this. Some people don't want to bother with the hassle trying to trade. They have somebody else trade. And for me, Either trade my own capital or trust somebody else to trade it because I'm too enthralled in my job that's not paying me enough. But I want to be sound like, hey, I got somebody who trades for me. You know, you sound big. I got somebody who's, oh, I got a broker guy who's trading for me and stuff like that. And a broker guy is making money off of you and tens and thousands of other customers because you don't want to, trade yourself. For me, it's a no-brainer. Everybody's different. Everybody is different. So for me, I hope you guys take this information, use it. It gives you everything. Core CPI, month over month, explains to you guys what goes on, what is all this news that comes out. Because nobody ever explains to you. They just tell you, go to Forex Factory and look and see what the news is. And, I don't want to read this crap. Same thing. Go to my FX book and see what the news is. You don't understand it. You can click on it and read it. But with this PDF right here, this shows you guys, hey, what is all this news that's coming out? What are people talking about? What is core CPI? What is month over month and all this other stuff? I mean, it helps you understand consumer index, all this stuff. I'm giving to you right now as a template that I got from Forex Nelson. You know what I'm saying? My gift to you guys. And like I say, by far when I went to Nelson, $400 at the most. Me and a gentleman I worked with were both students of Forex Nelson. We still talk to him. I just asked Nelson a question day for yesterday, and he answered right back through Skype. Didn't have to wait. Didn't have to wait to talk to somebody else, to talk to somebody else, to talk to somebody else, or a 2 week email. Bam, right on it. Right on it. So I'm happy that I found him because didn't have to. There were other guys that me and Matthew were looking at, and one guy wanted to charge me $800. Get this, $800 for 2 lessons. $800 for 2 lessons. Only to go around and find Nelson and see that was the aha moment. He said, "You guys should go check out this guy called Forex Nelson." Da, da. So me and my coworker, we went and we checked him out. His name is Matt, and I said, Matt, was such as telling us to go check out this guy Forex Nelson, whatever. So we went and did it, and we got Nelson's system. But here's the irony in that. The guy who tried to charge me and Matt $800 for 2 lessons got Nelson's course and get his system and try to sell it to somebody. And the guy contacts Nelson and is like, hey, I got your system from such and such, and it's not working right. And Nelson blew a fuse. Like, he called the guy like, who are you to sell my system to somebody else and you charge? And I think he sold it to the guy for 250, but because he didn't know how to properly download it, the system wouldn't work properly on this guy's end. So it was messed up. And Nelson's like, I'll tell you what, you give me $100, I'll fix the system for you, and I'll throw in some videos, something like that, or however it went. And the guy's like, oh, okay, I appreciate it. But he called the guys and like, who are you to sell my system? You're selling my product to somebody else, and then they're calling me talking about it doesn't work. You have to be careful, these people out here. You have to be careful. So, like I say, this information I'm doing for you guys today is from me to you because I'm tired of traders getting ripped off from these people that want your life savings and you have not made a dime. Or they want your life savings and they're going to drag you on for a year or longer teaching you how to trade. Nelson had a student, a young lady was making $100,000 a year. Okay, she liked her job, money was nice, but ain't what she wanted to do. She got Nelson's system. She dug in for 6 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that should really, if you got the time to go over, it might take you 6 months, maybe a year, depending on how fast you learn and stuff like that. She dug in the system, the videos, the PDFs for 6 weeks straight, going back and forth over material. In 6 weeks, this young lady quit her $100,000 job. Why? Because $100,000 a year versus $100,000 in 2 months, you do the math. or $100,000 in a month, or $100,000 in a day. You do the math. This is why we trade. We have to accept the risk with the reward. And you're going to have some reward, and you're going to have some risk. It's not going to be all peaches and cream. But if you study like you're supposed to, if you guys are on the charts like you're supposed to, if you're in front of a computer like you're supposed to, your rewards will be greater than your losses. Have those stop losses in place. I don't care if you got $100 and you lose, you know what I'm saying, $5. What does that mean? That means you can go back and trade 95 more times to get your money back up. Stop trying to knock it out when you take these trading challenges. Stop trying to knock them out the park in one day and you will be okay. They give you 30 days to pass a challenge. Why not take a little bit at a time? Why not set a goal of $500 a day or $1,000 a day? Or depends on how big the trading account is that you're going after. Why not? Why not do that? So that when you pass in 30 days, or however long it takes you to go through phase one, then phase two, now you know, okay, I'm funded X amount of dollars. I can make $1,000 a day. It's roughly 30 days in a month. Now, every day is not a trading day. You have to take in for weekends and stuff like that. So let's just assume that there are really 20 trading days in a month. That's 20 days that you have an opportunity to trade 3 different times throughout that day: London, New York, and Asian session. So let's go to the calculator real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to say it's 20 trading days in a month, and you're making $1,000 a day. That's $20,000. Okay, let's say you're getting this from a trading company, prop firm, or whatever. Okay, it's $20,000. You're going to minus their 20%, because that's what most of them do. That's $4,000. So now you're left over with 16,000. Now, depending on what your tax situation is, everybody's is different. I'm just going to say, for the sake of argument, we're going to also minus this 16,000 by 20%. Another 20%. 3,200 bucks. That's for the month. You are now left with $12,800 for the month. Who in the heck is paying you $12,000 a month? I know some people making six. I know some people making seven. But just from being at home on your computer for the whole month, making sure you're on time in front of the computer and doing what you're supposed to do, and studying and going back and forth and back testing, make sure you back test to see patterns and things like that, so you can familiarize your eyes and your memory for when things are happening. $12,800. You can pay your bills, you can pay your car notes, food expenses, and still have about $6,000 left over. Probably even more than that, depending on what your lifestyle is. It can be done. That's one of the reasons I got with Notion. That's one of the reasons when I saw his course and everything, and I was like, man, this is like a no-brainer on what to do. This is like really a no-brainer on what to do. And it was just that. It was a no-brainer on what to do. Because one guy told me $10,000 to be a member of his YouTube, I mean not YouTube, but trading family. And that was only for the year. If I didn't renew next year, I'm done. I'm out of the the whole little family group thing or whatever. $4,000 a year. That's part of some people's salary. And I'm gonna let you guys on a little secret. This is how it works. This is how it works. A lot of people are teaching you, they're giving you the information, and I credit those people that are doing the right thing. But you got some people who want you to charge them, who wants to charge you $10,000. Why? Because if they get 10 students paying them $10,000, how much ever they break it down for the year, they don't have to trade as hard. They can up the ante, they can up the leverage and the amount on their trade. Think about that. You're paying them $10,000 for a year. You break it down, you know what I'm saying? How many every thousand that is a month, and you got 10 people doing that. I can take $5,000 and risk on a trade now, as opposed to when I was only doing $1,000 or $50 or $100, because you're funding it. And then on top of that, I'm gonna drag you out as long as I can. I'm gonna drag you to. I'm gonna give you what you're looking for, but you're just not gonna get it all in one setting. I'm gonna drag this out for a year or longer. So this is what a lot of them do. And it's not right, ladies and gentlemen, because you're smart. Anybody who's looking at this video who has an inkling about trading and what they want to do and stuff like that, you all are very highly intelligent people. When you're on a job and you get a job and they say, hey, you got X amount of time to learn this right here, and I'm going to give you all the tools, I'm going to show you and walk you through step by step, and you got your notepad and you're writing down notes so you can go back and perform these steps when they actually do it in the training process. It's a no-brainer. You're going to get it. You're going to learn the job. You're going to know how to do the job. Same thing what Nelson did. He put everything in a box. I don't have to hold your hand. I just need to show you how to go through it. We're going to do a trial run about 3, 4, 5 times. I ain't got to hold your hand. You got your notes. You got your notebook. You know, what are we doing when we put the computer on? What are we doing when we get here? What are we doing when we get here? Because you got it written down. You're going step by step. And you're taking the information. You're going over and over and over and over and over again in your head till you get it. Same thing with Forex. When you come to patterns and charts and realizing what patterns are and what charts are, what does this candlestick mean? What does that mean? You're going over in your head. So when it starts to form and you taking trades and you take trades and you have a stop loss in place, it might hit your stop loss. But look, the theory worked. It was going in the direction you said it was going to go. It's just that it might have been a little volatile and taking you out. That's fine. As soon as it takes you out, you hop right back in because you know it's going in the right direction. You're covered by your stop loss. You're safe. This is what this information is about. Learning what the market is producing, learning the terminology, learning what goes on in the market, what drives the market, how does it work, how does the unemployment rate affect the market that's going on, how does core CPI monthly remote, what is it, consumer index report, what is this stuff that's driving this market that I need to understand so I can make some money and be on the other side of this thing. That's what Nelson gives you. That's what Nelson gives you. I might even come back and give you one of his trading videos. I might just do that as a gift, just so you guys can see actually how easy it is he makes trading. And like I say, he doesn't pay me to sponsor him or nothing. This is a mentor I've been riding with for 7 years, ladies and gentlemen. 7 years. Going on 8 years now. Information at so much of a discount, it's ridiculous. Do you hear me? Information at a discount that you just can't believe. I can draw a car. I can pull a chart up right now, and my wife can tell you guys where to get in and where to get out, what to look for, the whole nine. Trying to get my daughters on board with that. Trying to get my son on board with that. So that in the event that you wake up and you no longer want to work your job and you have this thing right here and you know how to trade, you can make money from home without even having to worry about somebody punching a time clock or somebody messing with you on a job, or you don't want to deal with the people in the office, or you don't want to work this weekend, things like that. But it's also for those that have great jobs that they love and they just want to make some extra money on the side. This is for you. It goes both ways. It depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. So go check out Forex Nelson. See what he has. Learn from him. Pick his brain because I'm going to tell you, the man can talk. He will talk you to death. And I love it because all the information comes out his mouth. It's like an open encyclopedia. He loves helping traders trade. He'll tell you a story. He has one student, one guy. I think he's over in Tokyo or Japan or whatever. And he only looks to gain, I think, like 2 to 5 pips or something like that. No more, probably about 10 pips. Why? Because his lot size on those trades are substantial because he has the money to do so. Imagine what kind of money he's making. He has another older gentleman who bought like $5,000, I think, worth of stuff from him, from Nelson. He's retired. He's already a millionaire, but he wants to do something else. He wants to trade and do other things. And he's just bought so much information from Nelson. It is ridiculous. So I mean, it's up to you guys. It's up to you. It is really up to you. It is really up to you guys to see that if this is what you want to do, if this is something you want to continue to do, or you want to try to do, it's up to you. It is really, really, really up to you to do so. Find out information, find out what's going on, find out what drives the market, find out where you can place yourself within all this information. Don't be scared to learn it. Learn it like you're going to school. Because when you, let me explain something to you. $12,000 a month that you can live on, pay all your bills, and still have a considerable amount left over. Let's say your monthly bills for the month. Let's say mortgage minus 1,200 minus car note minus insurance for the year 1,200. Let's say all your other monthly bills combined are $1,000. Let's go throw in another $400 for groceries. $500, $500. All your bills and everything are paid out. Everything's done. You still have $8,400 left over after all your bills are paid out. $8,400 you still have left over after everything is paid out. A month, if you're that consecutive. Let's times this for the year. You have made in profit for the whole year $100,800, free and clear, after taxes, after expenses, after mortgages, after bills, all the stuff. 100 grand, free and clear. That is yours. No tax money, no nothing. 100 grand. $8,000 a month is what you're living on after everything's paid out. You can take trips to the Caribbean or Disney World or state parks or whatever it is you're trying to do. I want you guys to think about this and think about this really, really tough. Really. Really think about it. Really, really think about it. It's a no brainer. You can teach your children. I watched a video of a guy teaching his, was he 7, 9, how to trade. And that was like years ago. And that was so weird. That was so crazy. I'm looking like this. If you hear the lawnmower, somebody looks like I couldn't grass. Excuse me, and I got my window open to get some fresh air. But That's crazy. 9 years old. Just go on YouTube. Type in little girl or little boy knows how to trade forex or learn to trade forex, and some of those videos are like 10 years old. That these parents are teaching their children how to trade, how to become financial success, how to become successful financially without depending on nobody, without depending on a job. Heck, they might even not even want their children to even work a regular job because they feel like they've struggled enough as a parent. So now I'm going to give you a different kind of struggle. It won't be the same struggle that we went through when we were in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. It won't be that kind of struggle. I'm going to give you a different struggle to keep the financial wealth and literacy going. That's the struggle, and that's the task I'm going to put in your hands. You don't have to be out here on food assistance. You don't have to get food stamps. You don't have to get government money. You can you can be in poverty as long as you got a phone or a computer or internet, and you got a good mentor or trader. You can come about that situation. You can come about this situation. You ain't gotta live in an apartment if you don't want to. You can buy your house now. Buy you a good car. Put your kids for better education. I mean, and I'm sorry it's like that, but it is because you just don't get the best education everywhere. Every place is different because a lot of these people are in it for the money. Same thing with forex. A lot of people are in it for the money. I'm gonna drag you along because you paid me $10,000 for a year. I'm in it for the money, so I can fuel my own pocket and my own family. And you have to be mindful and leery of that. You just do. Like I said, I'm not saying a lot of these people are not great at what they do. There are a ton of people great at what they do. Some people are just outrageously raping people. They are. And it makes no sense. It doesn't. It don't take all that. It doesn't take all that. You guys can take this and go to the very next level in your lives. Retire early. Go sit on that island in Florida or the Bahamas. Drink your Mai Tais. Drink your margaritas. Eat some of the most amazing food. Travel to Dubai. All that stuff. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I enjoyed talking to you guys and getting some things off my chest. As always, drop me a comment below. Any questions I can answer, I will do for you guys. Take care and happy trading.